Jai Gurudev, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of our summary of this week's Yoga Vasishta, 23rd of February till 1st of March. The page number at the bottom is 54 onwards. So I'm reading the page 54, which is 23rd of February. As the story continues, Leela, Saraswati, and the king, and even Sage Vasishta, everything in that there is the entry of this enlightened Leela who has come in, and now she's asking Saraswati, what is the secret of how it is that she sees the another Leela, which is there, another queen, which is there with the king, and she's surprised that how come she's there. She's just the version of me. I was like this in my youth, and she's just duplicate of me. What is the secret of this? And the ministers and everything. And then the Saraswati replies that whatever is the vision that arises in oneself, that immediately is experience. The consciousness itself become that and the object of the knowledge. And when the when in the consciousness the image of the world arises, as that very instant it becomes so. Time, space, duration, and objectivity do not arise from matter, for then they would be material. What is reflected in one's consciousness shines outside also. So now understand this. What is coming in your consciousness is getting reflected outside, because everything that you think, everything that is there inside in a form of thought is getting materialized outside in the form of objects. That's what is happening. This in the beginning, if you remember beginning of the story, this queen had a thought which was as a sankalpa, as a what's the word for that, she had that, I wrote down some intention, as an intention. She had that thought in her mind that like my king, the one whom I married, should not die, and his body should always be there. And then the Saraswati came and the whole story began, if you remember all those things. So now that is what is happening, and that is getting all materialized. Now she wanted to see the king, she wanted to see everything with him, and after the death what happens, and everywhere she is going. So everything is getting materialized because everything is coming into her consciousness first, and then this is getting outside in the form of objects. So that's what Saraswati is trying to explain it to her, that outside whatever you see, the world, it is there, but it is actually making sense because the consciousness is there, and it is reflection of the consciousness. If consciousness is not there, the outside world is not there. For instance, if you get rid of your body and if your mind, what remains? Just think about that. What remains if you want to exist without your body and without your mind? The answer will be you don't know. But then what is telling you that you don't know? So there is something there which is still there, present, when your body and mind is not there, isn't it? And that exactly happens in the deep sleep. So something which is there, and when the body and mind is not there, but the world diminishes at that time. So your existence is still there, but the world is not there. And when the body and mind comes in, because that's the first reflection of our world, that my world starts when I reflecting my mind. When the mind comes in existence, then after that the body comes in existence, and after that the world comes in existence. So if you understand this, how sequentially after we come out of the deep sleep, how the individual consciousness, which is not individual, we discussed that last time, how the consciousness thinks that it is separate from the universal consciousness, and it has the power of projecting itself. Then the mind comes in, and the mind thinks it has the power of experiencing the world. Then the body comes in, then the body has the power of sensing the world to different sense object. Then the sense objects comes in place, and all this has got a sequential. So if all those things are not there, then the objects and the world is not there. That's what she is saying, that whatever the vision arises in oneself, that is immediately experienced. Consciousness itself becomes that objects of the knowledge, and then what is regarded as a real objective world experience in the waking state is no more experienced during the dream state. isn't it? Like your dream is completely different and weird than the waking state. Whatever you see in the waking state is not seen in the dream state. During sleep, the world does not exist, and during waking state, the dream does not exist. Even so, death contradicts the life. Death contradicts life, and while living, death does not exist. And in death, life does not exist, because that which holds together either experience is absent in the other. So, in the waking state, you are there and the waking world is around. So, you are holding the experience of the waking world as an waking individual consciousness. Okay, we will, as we discussed that there is no individual consciousness, we will name it for understanding sake. So we are right now, you're watching this video, and right now I'm saying this video. So we are in a waking state, and that waking state we are experiencing the world around. So the waking state individual consciousness is present, right? But the waking state individual consciousness is not there in the dream state. In the dream state, there is a dream body which is understanding itself as an individual consciousness and experiencing the dream. Think about your dreams. In your dreams, you just don't only see the visions, you always have the dream body which is experiencing these visions. So dream body is there when the dream is there, and the waking body is there when the waking state is there. Now waking body is absent in the dream, and dream body is absent in the waking state. So that's what she is saying. The same way death is present, life is absent, and life is present, death is absent. So you cannot experience both of the things. The universe exists in Brahman only as a word and idea. It is neither real nor unreal. Like a snake and a snake in a rope is neither real nor unreal. Now all these experiences, though essential unreal, appears to real. Such is the nature of these ministers. And so, even so, Leela exists as a product of reflection in the consciousness. Even so are you and me and the others. Know this and rest in peace. So what does it mean? The universe is already there as a word, means universe is there as just as a word in the universe exists as just a word in Brahman. That means universe is really not there. The Brahman is not getting affected by the universe. It is just getting, because in Brahman there is the individual consciousness which has arisen. The individual consciousness is powerful because it has not taken all the power from the Brahman. The individual consciousness is not taken all the power from the Brahman or the universal consciousness. It has just taken some power from that. What is that some power it has taken? That it can think of its individual, it can be individual, and it can think it's existing forever. That's his power it is taking. Okay. Now mind has taken some power from that individual consciousness and it is existing. What is the power that the mind has taken from the individual consciousness? That it can express himself, and it can actually produce the material world around it. Now from mind, the body has taken some power, and it is actually producing the object and the material form which you can see, as in material. And the body is limited because mind can do, body cannot do. What mind can do, even whatever the individual consciousness can do, much more than that. So whatever mind can do, body cannot do. Whatever the individual consciousness can do, the mind cannot do. And whatever the universal consciousness can do, the individual consciousness cannot do. For example, in universal consciousness, when you are established into that state, most of the sages and masters, they can easily come to know what is going on in one particular person's mind or in one particular place which is far away from here. And this is very well explained in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, in one of the sutras, that it is possible to understand everything that is happening with every living creature, not only just human beings. Human beings we generally come to know because we know how to call for that universal consciousness, and we pray and we cry and we go from that state. That's why it quickly get answered. But even if you are not there, even the trees who has got the pain, even the animals who are in the pain, and if they need and if they pray for that and if they cry for help, the universal consciousness always helps them, and there is always something comes out for anybody who is in the need or anybody who is actually needs to go through that particular phase. So in the same way, so everything is appears to be unreal, because everything is there which is not in the form of reality, because it is come and taken some power from that, so it's thinking it's real. Why your body is thinking it is real? Because body has taken some power from the mind. Why mind is thinking it's real? Because so it's a very beautiful word they have used in Sanskrit to explain this. It's called chichaya. I don't know whether I spoke about this in one of the previous episodes. Like moon does not have its own light, but the moonlight is the borrowed light from the sun. So same way, why we are thinking so powerful, why we are thinking we are existing individual, why we are thinking we are never going to die, where does all those things comes from? It is come from because we have borrowed that particular power from the universal consciousness, and we forget about that. And the same way, like whatever the reflection we are having into into that consciousness, it's just getting reflected, and that's why everything that is appears to be unreal, it feels like real. That is what she's explaining it here. Now on the second page, 55 number, then the first Leela is saying that why did not you allow me to travel into the different forms of one plane of consciousness to the other? And then Saraswati, she actually explained this very well. I do not do anything for anyone. Even the jiva earns its own state by its own deeds. I am merely the deity presiding over the intelligence of every being, and I am the power of its consciousness and the life force. Whatever form of energy of the living beings takes within itself, that alone comes as a fruition in course of time. You long for liberation and you obtain it. You may consider it as a fruit of your austerity or a worship of a deity, but it is consciousness alone that bestows that fruit upon you. Even as the fruit seems to be fall from the sky, really falls from the tree. So, see, understand how this whole creation is coming. I'm again telling again and again, there is everything is this universal consciousness, Brahman. Okay, absolute, we'll call it as absolute universal consciousness, Brahman, supreme consciousness, Shiva, anything you can name it. Okay, now that is only existing. Now you are taking the stand of the body. You are standing as a body, individual body, and you are trying to see something which is definitely not being able to understand and grasp because you are limiting yourself. The moment you will drop this stand and you will think, okay, let me experience and let me see this whole world as if I am that universal consciousness. I am existing as an absolute. Everything is form of me, and out of that, this one form is also there, which is my own body. But because I am actually experiencing, and so many years I have been experiencing this body, being with this body, I'm just feeling very much attached to this body. But ultimately, at one day, this body is going to get dropped. And forget about the one day. Every day this body is changing because I'm so much close to this. I'm not actually seeing the change and understanding this change, but the change is happening without me understanding or without me seeing. So the same way, so the universal consciousness is there, and which is representing inside you through this body. So when you pray, where your prayer will go, the object which is outside in the form of a statue or in the form of a picture or in the form of another body, or your prayer will directly go inside you through the direct channel to that universal consciousness. What do you think? The answer is it directly goes through you into your thing. That's why there are so many gods, there are so many goddesses, there are so many religions, there are so many people, so many different ways of praying. There are so many different objects called as the gods and saints, and everybody is bowing down to them. But everybody's answers are getting prayed because it is not in the objects outside you. It is the process of that praying. It is the intention of your surrenderness and that egoless state where you are crying for help, or you are praying, or you are asking for something, and is going down to your own consciousness, surpassing your individual existing level into that absolute, and the fruit is coming out of that. That is how the whole thing is working. That is how the whole thing is there. That is why all gurus says, all scripture says that have faith. Why you have faith in someone or in yourself? Or because that faith makes that connection not very, very, it makes the connection very light. If you got a faith in a guru or a master, and if you go to them and tell them, your connection is so light that the egoless state can easily the information transfer from one to another level. And you surrender. What is surrender means? Again, surrender means your ego is stopping you. You are actually the biggest obstacle in your own progress, your own personality, your own imagination, that yes, I am ABC and I am existing as ABC. That itself is a big problem. That is what all these processes are there to explain you, to get rid of all those things. Now, where does all the gods and goddesses are nothing but the consciousness which is experiencing itself. Again, understand this very clearly. All the gods and goddesses are limited because they have again come out of the absolute. Absolute is something which is formless, which is unknown, which is not understandable. So we do not know how to do that. That's why the purest form of the consciousness, which becomes separate from that absolute, we call it as the gods and goddesses, and we pray to them because they are very close to the absolute. So our prayers will reach close to that. The moment you will start become established into that consciousness and you start becoming pure and pure, then you will start feeling that yes, there is a godliness in me as well. And that is what, if you see all the scriptures and all the mantras and all the chanting also happens in Rudra Puja or in other chants which are actually very profound chants. If you see, like, you worship yourself. It is written that you have to worship yourself because the God is there in you. And all the work that the gurus and all the saints and all the scriptures are doing is just pointing that to your direction. That, hey, forget, don't look outside, look inside. Hey, hold on, don't listen to others, listen to yourself. Hey, don't waste time in talking with the others, just be with yourself. What does it mean? It means like going back to the basis from where everything is coming. And the moment you start going close to that, the final most level that you will hit is that all the experiencing of gods and goddesses and all the energies and all the different powers. The funny thing that happens is that most of us do not know what we want, and we get stuck. Oh, I just want peace. Okay, then you reach to that level where it's peaceful and you get stuck. Then after that, your progress stops. Few of us want just power. I want this power, I should be able to fly in the sky. They reach to that level, they can start flying in that. It has happened. You read the different books and people has reached to that level, they have achieved that level, and their progress has stopped because that's what was their understanding. But always ask yourself a question. That's what I always do. If something that I can achieve or somebody has achieved, then there has to be something out of that thing has come, and now this person has achieved. So there is something, and when you reach to the last state, there is nothing there that you can claim or you can experience or you can talk about. That is only the expression of that state is only silence and oneness with everything, non-dual state, and it's very pure and just different. You cannot even exist because your mind is not there, your intellect is not there, so how can you exist? Now, page number 56, the second Leela. Second Leela is asking, and then Saraswati is answering. Oh goddess, Leela is asking, please tell me why it is that though we are blessed by you, my husband cannot win in the battle. So Saraswati is answering that whatever it is that the person asks to me, I bestow upon him that fruit. It is but natural that the fire gives you the heat. That fire gives you the heat. He has asked for the liberation and shall attain the liberation. On the other hand, the king Sindhu worshipped me and prayed for the victory of the battle. So hence he is going to win the battle. So she again, because this Leela is talking and she is a wife of the king, and she wants what is her understanding? Oh, if my king is there, he is going to the battle, we should win the battle. But what Saraswati is explaining to it, the universal consciousness has got every individual consciousness as its own form, coming out of its own form. So whoever is praying, everybody's prayer is going to get answered. Now your husband is not winning in this battle because he didn't ask for winning. He asked for the liberation, and I gave him the liberation. But the other king, he didn't ask for the liberation. The other king asked me specifically that in his prayer that I should win. So he is winning. So basically both are winning. But in the naked eye, when you see as becoming as an individual person or in the body form on the body level, you take a stand of the body level, you think, oh, that person is suffering, because for us it is so very badly engrossed into our system that winning and losing is still a part of our life. And this is like 5 6,000 10,000 years back. That time also people's mind was same, which is like right now. Right and wrong again, pleasure and unpleasure again. So all these opposites are bombarded into our life, and all we need, all we first do, and all we actually ask for in our prayers is the good out of the in the opposites, the good, the pleasurable, the right, the pure, that we ask for. What we forget into the whole process is that whether we ask for right or wrong, the other always comes with that, because it is opposite and they coexist. You ask for the peaceful state, but it is not going to be always peaceful, because somewhere where there is a peaceful, there is not peaceful state attached to that, the other side of the coin. But this lila is still not reached there. This lila is not yet understanding, and so we are just thinking, I want happiness in my life. Okay, but happiness will not exist without unhappiness. The unhappiness will become come. Maybe it will come after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. The only way to rise above is, I don't want happiness, I don't want unhappiness, I just going to face the day as it comes. I'm going to give my best wherever I can, and just go through the day the way I want it to be, whatever is expected for me, and whatever I can do in my capacity. That is when you start rising a little bit above all those things. It is that infinite consciousness that perceived by the ignorant as a universe, and just as a whole city exists within the dreamer. The three worlds exist in a small atom. Surely there are atoms in this world, and each one of these atoms contains the three universes. You know, so she's again saying the infinite consciousness is there, but if you are ignorant, if you are taking a stand of a body as a personality, as an individual personality, then you will see every individuals around you, because whatever you think you are, you will see the reflection of that everywhere else. Now then again she asked that how did she go there already, and what are the people they're telling her. Leela is asking Saraswati, just both of you are fancied objects of the king. Even the king himself and I also are the dream objects. So she is saying this is all happening as a part of a consciousness. In the consciousness, I am also there as an object, you are also there as an object. Your object from the king's dream, and he is also thinking about all this. Everything is just as a different modification and happen in the consciousness. Like there is, this ocean is one, the sea is one, but there are so many different waves. Gold is one, but there are so many gold ornaments that we can see. Wood is one, but there are so many things made up of the wood that we can use. Clay is one, but there are so many clay objects that we can use. These are all the examples given in scriptures again and again to tell you that whatever is real will not get affected and changed, but whatever is come out of that real, which is unreal, will always be changing and always see it. So if you hold on to the unreality, then you will see unreality. If I will hold on to the one form of gold in my hand as a ring, then I will definitely argue with someone, oh, you got a chain, you got a bracelet, I got a ring. But if I will see gold as a gold, I say, what difference does it make? You got a ring, I got a chain, who has got a bracelet? Everything is going to melt into the gold. So that is what she is saying. Infinite consciousness that is perceived by the ignorant is the universe, and everything exists into the dream. Now, individual consciousness is limited when one thinks of the body and mind as an individuality. Universal consciousness, when the body and mind is dropped, but there is just the existence of I am ness, and both of these are same one. So sorry, I'm just reading to the notes that I have made. So individual, what is the individual consciousness? We always talk about, I always say about that. Again, understand these are just the words used for understanding and purpose. So it is individual consciousness is something that is limited to this body and mind. Individual consciousness is, and which we experience, why we all are experiencing something inside us that we are not aware of it, but it is witnessing, it is existing, and at deep sleep state we dissolve into that. That is our individual consciousness. What is the universal consciousness? Something in which that dissolve is the universal consciousness. So and all those things in this story, what you read in the second Leela, the enlightened Leela, the Leela's daughter, and all those things you hear are nothing but the different aspects of the consciousness, like I just said just now, different waves in the ocean. And all these aspects are depends on the purity of the consciousness, how pure the consciousness is. When I say purity about the consciousness, if the consciousness is getting stuck with the concepts in the mind and the body form and the name and the forms, then it is becoming impure. The more and more consciousness is separate from all those forms and it is established with oneself, it is become more and more pure. It is become more and more pure. It is a process which is not just happening for the 20 minutes of the meditation. Oh, I'm nothing, I do nothing, I want nothing. It is actually the continuous state that you have to always stay in there. For the meditation, when we sit, we are always calm and relaxed. After Kriya, we feel calm and relaxed. But the moment something goes against our body, against our mind, we start rebellious. The consciousness get attached with the body and mind, and we start fighting for that. And we forget that we are consciousness, especially in the state of anger, in the state of jealousy, in the state of all the negative emotions. Now, then coming back to page number 27, page 26 of February, the king, servants, and the royal households and all the rest of them, they are only infinite consciousness. However, since the substratum is the reflection of the infinite consciousness, which is real, since there is a conviction in order to the fanciful creation, and they recognize one another. So like I said before, because it is come out of that infinite consciousness and there is a substratum of that is why everything is feeling real. She should not go to her own physical body to the new realm, because the light cannot coexist into the dark. So by the grace of Saraswati, I have physically reached to this place. I am the most blessed among the persons. And just trying to read, see what happened before. I'm just getting the sense of. So when the wisdom concerning one's ethereal body arises, the physical body ceases to be recognized as a truth. So what here Saraswati is telling, like, the more and more you start establishing on the highest level of your existence, the more and more the lowest level of your existence will start getting, you will start detaching from that. Like suppose right now, maybe you will see, or you might have gone through this, you are very much concerned about what the people around you are saying. That is this first state. Outside me, the world, what is the world is doing and what is the world is seeing me, we are concerned about that. The moment you start doing the meditation, that concern becomes less, and at one stage it diminishes. Your concern goes to your body. What is my body? Then the second state, you're worried about your body. You're not worried about the world, you are sincerely worried about your body. I'm not sleeping well, I got this problem, I got that problem, I should be doing exercise, I should be doing yoga, I should be doing pranayam, breathing and all that. Now that is there. Now the next stage, you go one more level when you clear this one, is your mind. Once you start worrying about your mind, then I should not have these thoughts in my mind, I should not be thinking about that. Mind should not dominate my life. So the moment you reach to the mind level, your thoughts about the body diminishes. They don't bother you that much. In fact, actually everything starts happening in a perfect way. The moment you focus on the body and start going within the outside world, and your social circle becomes the best. You don't have to worry about anything. Everybody starts loving you, you start loving them. The moment you go to the level of the mind, your body starts functioning well, because your interference is always making all those things complicated. In the social circle, in your body, in your mind. You go one step further. You become a witness of your own mind thoughts. Then your mind thoughts will not start troubling you, because you are not interfering with them. They are just coming and going. The moment you start interfering, then the mind starts troubling you more. So like that, she is saying, the more and more you start going deeper, the more and more the other state you stop recognizing the other step, which is he ceases to recognize that, Now the enlightened Leelas ask me, how did ask Saraswati, sorry, please tell me, how did the objects acquire their characteristics, like the fire in the heat and the coolness in the ice? Now this is very important. Whatever, wherever, and however was conceived or fancied by the infinite consciousness during the first creation, all that has remained there and it in that manner and with the characteristics even now. In fact, this order inherent in infinite consciousness, all these objects and their characteristics were potentially present in even during the cosmic dissolution, and it is and into what else could they dissolve, Now understand this. Now the tree is present in the seed. The seed is very small, but the moment you bury that seed and give the right conditions to it, the tree comes out of that, and the big tree happens. How much the tree grows, how much fruits the tree gives, how much flowers the tree gives, how much leaf it has got, everything is in the subtle form already present in the seed. It is just required in the right time to sprout. Same like us. Now we are experiencing in this body and mind, and we are experiencing and we are creating the world around us. When we were getting created in the physical form, and the first form that we were all there was the embryo. In that first few weeks of our pregnancy, of our birth, we were just in the form of that embryo. So that embryo had the whole potential about of whatever is happening right now in our life, isn't it? So the same way, now these are the physical forms. I am telling you that the seed is physical, embryo is physical, you can see. But before that, it was a thought process that our parents got married and they thought, okay, let's have children, and then they decided to have children. So we were in the form of thought. Before our parents were born, they were thought in their parents' head before they were born. So in a subtle form, everything is existing in this world. It is just manifesting when the right time and the right conditions are coming in. That is what she is saying here, that this creation holds everything in its seed form, and when the cosmic dissolution happens, everything is there into that. Now, like we discussed before, this is the earth which is moving around the sun, and its earth is 15 billion years ago. Before that, the scientists said that there was Big Bang theory that happened, and everything came out of that vacuum, and everything starts spreading. Then all the dirt come together from the planets, all the heat objects came together from the stars, everything happened. Now this is what we know. Now what if this is the 100th time that dissolution process is happening, or 1000 time, 2000 time? So we don't know. So where every time everything goes, where does it come from, what is this happening? So everything is in the form of that very subtle seed or impression. Impression will be the right word, because then it's not physical state. And that is what it's saying here, that everything goes. And okay, forget about this whole creation and all that. Everything is happening every day with us. At night we are dissolving. When you go into the deep sleep, where does everything go? Everything goes into that seed form, into that level, and then you just come out, and everything just comes back to you in the form of memory, in the form of your name, in the form of your everything. So the physical form, though it is still there, that you cannot experience, but all the things that has been accumulated by you on the level of the mind, intellect, memory, everything is dissolved. Nobody can take out from your body that, okay, tell me what happened 3 weeks back before you. If your body is dead, it's dead. But everything in the subtle form is still there. It goes down into that subtle form, into the deep sleep, into that cosmic dissolution, everyday cosmic dissolution we can call it. And then it comes out immediately the moment you open your eyes. Now page number 27th of February 58, Saraswati is continuing. According to the order of the order that is existed in the first creation, human beings were embodied with the lifespan of 1, 2, or 300 years, and then shortening or lengthening of this lifespan is depending upon the purity and impurity of these following factors: country, time, activity, materials used and consumed. So this is what is actually decides your lifespan, but it is not in your hand. Most of the things are not in your hand, because when you are born, before that, what materials were consumed and what materials were used and all those things you do not know. You do not have the control over that. What time you will born, you also don't have the control over that. Which country you will born, you don't have the control over that. What activities you will do, yes, you have a little bit of control over that once you start understanding about the activities. Many of us still don't understand what activities we should be doing and what we should not be doing. We are just into that auto system. So this is where your sadhana and your practice comes into place, to make these things more pure and to reduce the effect of that. For example, when you start walking on this path, many of us, we see that we reduce the drinking of alcohol, we reduce smoking, we reduce eating meat, because again that is not good for our system and it drops automatically. You become vegetarian, then you start understanding the activities, you become more active, you become more healthy, you become more pure activities, you involved in the service projects. Then country, if the country is not conducive for you and if you really want to get enlightened, automatically the path will get open and you will move to the right country. People who are into the war zones, you can get enlightened, it's not like that, but it will require a lot of efforts, because you are sitting for meditation and boom, the bomb is going on everywhere. So all those things, these factors start getting better and better the moment you will start getting close to yourself. And that is actually the one of the most important reason that why everybody seems to be going back to India when the time comes close for them, or goes to the Himalayas, or goes to the secular places like that, because that places has got the energy, because people has meditated there. That places has got the separateness from all the daily worldly universal activities and things happening. You just become inclusive of all those things, and you go to those secular places, and you become very close to yourself, and then everything there is pure. Nature is pure, what you eat is pure, you get only natural food there. And then the enlightened Leela is asking, kindly enlighten me concerning about the death. Is it pleasant or unpleasant? Now, there are three types of human beings: fool, who are practicing the concentration and meditation, and the yogi. Out of that, the latter two are the one with the practice, they actually depart sweetly and with a pleasure. But the fool, they will keep going into this. Now understand this. Which category do you come in? Most of you might be thinking you come into the second category. You are actually practicing this concentration and meditation. Think again, which category do you come in? You really come to that category, or you come into the still come into the category of fools? Because if you are taking a stand of the body, still you are taking the stand of the body, and if you are thinking my body is going to die and I'm going to be living this, and somebody dies, I feel sorry and I feel unhappy. Somebody is born, I feel happy for them. I want some good luck for this person, I want some good luck for myself, I want some pleasurable experience for myself, I want some pleasurable experience for others. Then you are taking a form of the body. You are practicing your meditation and concentration, but you are not let go of the form of the body. So you are still in the category of the fools. Those who practice the concentration and meditation, that is quite a higher state that we discussed just now some time ago, that you start going close to yourself, you get detached with your body, you start detaching with the world, you active in the world, you are participating in the world, but only whenever it's required and whatever way it's required. It's not bothering you. You are not sleeping at night with the thought of that what that person said, what that person did, what I should be doing, what I should not be doing. So purity of the mind, the thoughts in your mind will tell you which category you comes in. If you got a completely free thought free mind most of the time in the day, because of the movements happening around you and inside you, your thoughts are arising and you're witnessing them and they're going away. You are actually reaching to the state of the yogi. Your sadhana is bearing a higher fruit now. You are actually been able to focus on the right things in your life. You are helping the people. You are not worrying too much about you, and you are into the service activities, and you are living in this world. Then you are into the second category. You are not worried about your own body. You are not worried about your own money. And of course, if you are not aware of all those things, then you are into the first category, wonderful category of foods. So when there is a cessation of the flow of the life breath, the consciousness of the individual becomes utterly passive. Please remember, O Leela, that consciousness is pure, eternal, infinite. It does not arise or cease to be. It is even there in the moving or unmoving creatures like sky, mountain, and fire and air. What when life breath ceases, the body is said to be dead and inert. When the life breath returns its source, air, the consciousness freed from the memory and tendencies remains as the self. The atomic ethereal particle which is possessed of these memories and tendencies is known as jiva. It remains there itself in the space where the dead body is, and they refer to as a prita, departed soul. The jiva now abandons its ideas and what it had been seeing till now and pursues other things as a dreaming and daydreaming. After the momentary lapse of consciousness, the jiva begins to fancy that it sees another body, another world, another lifespan, and whatever the jiva sees, it experiences. For it is for in this empty space of infinite consciousness, there is nothing known as time action. The jiva fancies the god of death sends to me to the heaven and sees the heaven. And the jiva says he's suffering, it goes to hell, all these things. So there is the absolute, there is the universal consciousness, where in which there is a vibration arised, and that vibration decided that it is feeling itself separate from the universal consciousness, the absolute, and it wants to experience what is to be the individual consciousness. So the mind came into this existence, the intellect came into this existence. Then after that, all the simultaneously there are these 5 elements which are available for you to create something out of that, to experience this world or experience the other more about these elements or more about the multifold that is happening in this element. So the body came into the existence, but in between the body and the mind, for this body to function in a particular way, there is a vital energy that came into the existence, and you can see, actually you can experience that in your meditations. The more and more you will start taking the stand of the closer to the consciousness and the pure consciousness, free of all those things, you will see the activities and the movements happening inside you. You will see the energy being quite focused on, it is that is what is happens in the meditation, that you have to withdraw yourself and make that energy as quiet as you can, and then the meditation happens. So you remember, if your breath is calm, and breath is the closest physical form where you can experience the energy flow. So when the energy, you want to calm the energy inside you, the activities of the mind which is associated with the energy, then you calm down your breath, and then you will start going into the meditation. So that's what is happening here. And when this energy is gone, breath is stopped, then you are dead. That's what she's saying. So if you are taking the body stand and if you are experiencing the pleasurable experience, you think you are in the heaven. If you are taking the body stand and if you are thinking you are experiencing unpleasurable experience, you are then into hell. But if you are rising above this body stand, and if you are not worried about the unpleasurable and pleasurable experience, then actually you are actually walking towards the path of the enlightenment. So that's what is coming here next. When that intelligence, which is a part of this infinite consciousness, fancied itself to be a tree, it became tree. Fancied itself to be a rock, it became rock. There is no distinction between the sentient and insentient, between the intelligence and the inert. There is no difference. All in the essence of the substance for the infinite consciousness is present everywhere equally. So infinite consciousness is present everywhere equally, but it is just that um, the capacity it is using its energy, its intellect and other things depends on, and it has got their forms. In the tree there is limited intellect, there is limited uh, energy. That's why the tree cannot move from one place to another place. They can just grow up to certain animals. It is limited, that's why the animals cannot do certain things. In humans it is again limited if you are not aware of it, because you don't know how to use it. All these practices and all this knowledge, what is helping us to going more deeper to understand that how much infinite qualities and energy that we can possess inside us, which can not only help us to get rid of this form but rather help others also. And that is what is the path of the gurus, that they do. When they realize that infinite potential, then they start helping others, and with their guidance the others also start feeling that energy. Now page number 60, 29th of February. When the first lila became enlightened, the egoistic fancy of her ethereal real being abandoned its link with the gross physical form and melted away. In fact, it is the Leela's ignorance fancy that made it appear if she had the physical form. In the mind of the deluded, the unreal manifests itself, and when the delusion has been dispelled, there is no longer ignorance fancy. This is what we just discussed. Whatever comes into your mind is manifest. So why you are going through the misery, or why you are going through not so good in your things in your life? Because the consciousness don't know whether this is good or not good for you. It comes in your mind as a thought, and you keep repeating it. I don't want this, I don't want this, but you are saying that. You are saying I don't want, but you are saying that again and again. That's why it is getting manifest. That is why you should, that is the whole the idea of, if you have read the book The Power of Subconscious Mind and how to reset your subconscious state, because in the subconscious state also you should have that thing to know that like you should not be thinking about all those things, you should not be doing all those things. Yeah, so that's where it is very important that what you should think is always should be pleasant, and your thoughts is reflecting outside in the world. Even without destroying it, one can move from the ethereal body to another, and just as a dream, one can take one form and another without abandoning the previous form. Right? Like this is what is saying. In dream also you can have so many forms. The same way, though you are in this body, you will still experience the enlightenment and everything. That is what she's saying, and go to the highest level of your understanding this creation, how it has come out. Now that's the end of the story. We're on the last page where the Saraswati is saying now on the account of your own wish you appear here in your ethereal body, and in you there is no memories of the past life or latent tendencies brought forward from the previous incarnation. For when the intelligence is established in the conviction with the ethereal nature of the body, the body is forgotten, and even in the youth you forget about the young age or the fetus. Like this is the when there is the more and more subtler form inside you, you start going, the more and more other forms, impressions get diminished. If your body has got some limitations, and if you're not worried about the body, you go to the level of the mind, you go to the level of the consciousness. Those impressions starts getting out of your body. Your body comes into your comes very much into the control and start becoming pure. So that's what she's saying, that you can forget about the other thing when you establish into the second highest part inside you. And then after that, everything, the king woke up, who are you, and all that he asked all those things. That's okay. That's the story of Leela, O Rama, which I narrated in detail. Contemplation on this story, and this will remove from your mind at least the least faith in the reality of what we have perceived. So what this basically story is telling us in one sentence, if you have to say, that everything that you are seeing is unreal, and everything that you are seeing is nothing but the reflection of your own consciousness. Whatever is coming into your consciousness is getting reflected and getting multiplied and becoming the objects, and all that is you are experiencing in your life right now is because of whatever you have been thinking in that individual consciousness in your past, that is becoming your present, and what you do now will become your future. So that's where the whole story according to me, just stand still, and from tomorrow, from this next week, we will do 2nd of March till 9th of March. That we will do. Okay, another story is just starting very soon. Till then, take care. Jai Gurudev.